What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel where we get you on the grind and improve your mind. In this video, we're going to go through the change of times. We're going to go through some old footage and compare that to some new footage in an interesting video we got. We're going to react to it as well as review what's going on with the obesity levels in the US. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so first in our presentation here, I want to show you guys sort of like a advertisement for an old beach back in like the 1960s. We're going to look at some footage from that and compare that to what we have today.
Yeah, so I will put the video up on screen so you guys can watch along with us. There's not much of audio for it, but you can just take a look at it. I think it's like Venice Beach in California back in the day. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice out there, to be fair.
Yeah.
Would like to go out there.
You'll notice like in a lot of these old videos, you know, back then the obesity levels were not that bad. Food was a little bit better. Not processed as bad, right? Well, we'll talk as you guys are watching it. Oh, that sucks.
Oof, big oof.
But if you look at like the beach footage, you're not going to really see many overweight people. You're not going to see a lot of obese people because back then it wasn't like it is today. You know, people were different back then. Literally, look at that. I mean, the guy was shredded. So, a lot of the times you see, you know, back then it would be a lot of in-shape people, you know, they ate more correctly. A lot of them were active. They were not on their phones all day, right? It was a different time back then, and we were able to get footage of it, right? It was different, you know, people were sort of, you know, their bodies were basically not on overdrive, and they were, you know, they were actually living more healthier lifestyles, and it was an easier time. You know, I'm sure there were still people that were overweight back then, but it wasn't as bad as it is today. And back then, a lot of the people were, I think, they were also happier because they didn't have as much stress from the things that we consume today. And, you know, I think it was an easier time to be healthy, and it was an easier time not to have to stand out because you know, there were really not that many people that were super out of shape because that's just the signal of the times, right? So I guess that guy's
exactly. You know, that was like a bodybuilding like type of thing where they were just showing doing the muscle thingy. All right, so now we're going to show.
If you look at, you know, the footage back then, people were not as big, and now we're going to look at this video today about how this photographer took some photos and it showed how people reacted to bigger people. Sheesh.
When photographer Haley Morris Cafiero decided to take pictures of herself in environments that made her feel uncomfortable, she didn't expect to come up with another project that earned her a worldwide fame. Weight Watchers is a social experiment in a form of series of photos collected into one book.
So the purpose of this video is not to be mean, it's to be a dickhead. It's not about that. It's about pointing out what we're seeing in today's society. Now, this is obviously, it doesn't look like this stuff is staged. This is just simply people's reactions. Now, it's like, it goes against the whole narrative these days. And we're doing a lot of videos recently on like the obesity levels because quite frankly, it's a big issue and we need to address it because someone needs to. And it's a big thing going on and we want people to be healthier, so we have to address these things. It just has to be done. I feel it's a war that we need to fight. So it's not necessarily, you know, when you see a big person and you want to give them that body positivity, but in reality, it's very unhealthy and it's not good for you to be that way. And people naturally, I mean, the woman that's, you know, giving her that look in this is not exactly in shape herself. I think she has some work to do. But it's like, you know, we celebrate being bigger and you know, plus size, but it's really not. It's not something to celebrate. It's actually literally making us a weaker country. It's making the world weaker overall. Now, people's reaction to being a bigger person, it's, in a way, it's natural because, I mean, technically, it's like we did a video like with fat phobia. It's not really the fear of fat people. It's really more of the disgust because we look at a big person and we kind of think about like, why are they like that? I mean, sure, yes, there are medical conditions, of course, for some people, but most of the time it's due to very unhealthy eating habits and a bad lifestyle, despite what anybody else will tell you. I used to be fat. Mike was fat. We lost it. We keep it off because we eat healthy and we live a good lifestyle. But a lot of people are not encouraged to do so unless they watch our channel, of course. But it's very important to understand these are just genuine reactions. People have, you know, when you see a big person, you really wonder why. And especially if you're not like big yourself. if you're not a big person yourself. There's just a stigma that kind of comes with that. And a lot of people, they'll let it make them depressed when I think they need to find ways to let it empower them and then use it as motivation to lose the weight. Because I remember being called fat in middle school, and I was like, all right, I was like, well, now I'm going to do something about that. And I ended up doing it years later. But it's kind of like the same. But it's really something important to think about.
That capture how passersby react to overweight people they see on the internet. Haley Morris Cafiero is a photographer from Memphis, Tennessee, whose pictures have gone viral recently. Although the photographer appears in all the pictures, she's not intended to be the subject of them. Morris Cafiero says it's the reactions of passersby that she's trying to draw attention to. The photographer claims that people are giving her critical looks because she's overweight. John Feinstein of the Humble Arts Foundation praises Morris Cafiero's ability to draw attention to attitudes about weight, fat shaming, and other issues related to body identity.
I don't think that guy's shaming.
If she's awkwardly posing for pictures in public areas, how can she expect people not to look at her? And when they do, how is this automatically considered a critical look? If she's already accepted the way you look, that's great. So does it really matter if others accept her or not? Her happiness shouldn't depend on the non-verbalized thoughts of strangers. Morris Cafiero's raising money through Kickstarter for a book of her pictures, but she probably won't be getting any more attention from us. What are your thoughts on the project? See some of her pictures and let us know what you think in the comments.
Same. See, I like how the cops are doing this.
As I said again, it's not to be mean. It's simply to point out these kind of things. This is human nature. This is not something that's like supposed to be staged, or this is literally like, we're not meant to be big like this. We are not meant for this. Whenever it's very... that's one of the reasons I don't like... I mean, it's interesting because I, myself, associate myself with very healthy individuals. All the guys in my friend group are actually healthy. Mike is part of my friend group. Obviously, we have our friend Joe, who you've seen in other videos previously. He's extremely in shape, and he takes care of himself. He's at the gym every day. So the people we surround ourselves with are very in shape. And we have other friends that we don't bring on the channel but in real life, and they're in good shape. We don't have any obese friends. I don't think so, right? We don't have any obese friends. The people who hang around us, we have a good social circle. We hang around people that are fit, that are healthy, and they know what we do, and they take off from those positive vibes, and it helps them in their own life. Mike's girlfriend is not overweight. Mike's girlfriend is in good shape. I mean, his fiance at this point.
Yes,
sorry, no disrespect.
It's all good.
And the multiple females that I see, and my main chick, she is in good shape, and it's who you surround yourself with too. It's also the inspiration that you give off, and all of that. But we have gone off the deep end with these obesity levels. It's not to be mean, but it is pointing out that we need to get back in shape. We need to get back healthier. And when it comes to like attraction and like dating and stuff, looks do play an important role, and people naturally have that like, I don't want to really, I'm just not attracted to you. Like, I've actually rejected girls that I just were not personally attracted to. It's just because I'm just not feeling it, because I know what I want. But the good news is a lot of guys are very desperate out there. For all the ladies that may get offended at this video, which, I'm sure there's always somebody, there's always a hater. The good news is that you shouldn't be upset, because there's always going to be some desperate guy that's going to want you, right? Because a lot of guys, they can only get bigger chicks. And a lot of girls can only get bigger guys, maybe. But a lot of guys fetishize like bigger girls because that's all they can get. So they're going to be naturally attracted to the bigger girls, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate for that. But that's okay. We live in the internet. You gotta get hate for something. If you don't get hate, you're not saying anything right. But it's just kind of this is why we're fighting the fight of being overweight and being obese, because we want to get people back on track. We want to get this country back in a good way. It's a long fight, and it's going to be a hard fight, especially with all the mainstream media that's trying to make you fat constantly, and all the billboards and all the fast food restaurants and the alcohol and all the liquor stores around the corner. We're trying to get you guys back on track. It's very important. We have a lot of nutrition videos you could check out on our channel. And, it's not that hard to really get back in shape. It's keeping it off and the consistency and living a healthy lifestyle. So this is just a reminder for you guys to try to get back, get to where you want to be in a good place. Being overweight is not healthy. It's not to be mean, once again, but it is to point out some certain facts about life. We want you guys to live a healthy lifestyle. We don't want you guys to end up in the hospital for diabetes. We don't want you getting in those medical bills. We don't want you to get in that debt. We don't want you to be in the doctor's office 10 times a week and getting prescriptions and medications that you constantly have to pay for, which drains your bank account, which makes you depressed and makes life worse for you and all that. But we're trying to get you guys on a better path. So make sure you're doing everything you can to make progress and never stop. The journey never ends. We want to get this problem solved. It's going to take a lot of hard work and consistency, but you can do it, guys. We're rooting for you. We're trying to make these things aware for you guys so you guys can be champions. So if you like this content, make sure you hit the like button. Comment your thoughts below in the comment section and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. You can also donate to the Cash App if you appreciate our channel and want to donate to the equipment. And with that said, we're going to see you guys in the next video.